Boom.
Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yes, yo. Ding, ding, do. Ding, 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 do. Got my Dumbo cup. Got my cup of tea. We've been through the Ringtons before, so I won't go over it again. I don't know if it's cool enough to sip. Oh, it's there. It's right there. It's just on that cusp where it is hot, but it's not too hot to handle. But we're not here for that. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. Had to move back to get his greatness in. Want to do a quick shout out to R. Ripper, who has bought 5 more copies of my single Don't Stress Yourself, which I muchly appreciate. So shout out to R. Ripper. It's much appreciated. It's out on the 13th of September. If I could get everybody behind it, the link is below. It'd be much appreciated. Then I've got 2 shout outs to do for my members, which is 99p a month or $1.99 a month, whatever it may very well be. Shout out to Joe, Depp and Simply Stew. Shout out to Joe, Depp and Simply Stew. So Simply Stew gets another shout out because it reminds me of stew. And I absolutely love stew because it's spelled... How do you spell stew? Because the Simply Stew is S-T-E-W, which I know is probably how you spell like Stuart. Stew, but would you spell stew S-T-U? Or are you literally saying Simply Stew, like just a simple stew, just delicious stew? Don't really know where we're going with that, but you know what time it is. Quick shit vid, badges in, badges on, badges over here. I'm off on Just Joe at 8 PM. So if you want to tune into that, it'd be much appreciated. Go follow Joe, do what you've got to do. We will be talking about, I would imagine, Leeds United, due to the fact I don't talk about all else on his show, and it is a show about Leeds United, so that would make perfect sense. My man Fakky's just done his interview. Well, he hasn't just done he's done his interview a few hours ago, pre-nap. I just had a little nap afterwards just to keep the ticker going, because I'm still feeling a bit ropey, still trying to catch up. When you got to work at the same time, when I've been at Leeds Fest, it's like, my mind's like, so it's, you know, it's a lot to take in. But these interviews, honestly, some of the questions that are asked, I mean, is just like, I don't know why they bang on about the ins and outs, and, you know, I understand, yeah, but ask the question. So is anybody coming in? You know he's going to say, I don't really, before the players signed on the dotted line, you know, I'm respectful to the other clubs and this and that, and it's all this all the time. It's like, right, we've got that out there, let's move, let's ask him, don't rephrase the question, because I'm just wasting my 20 minutes. He already, you know, fluffs it all out like I'm doing with these videos, just fluffing them out. And then you think, oh, well, you know, he's doing that so that the less questions are asked, which I'm actually on board with. I think it's quite a good tactic. It's on that Putin hype, isn't it, with Tucker Carlson, where he just answered the first question for about 40 minutes and everybody was like, that might end it. And just think, oh, just don't ask him all else with where he goes on. But yeah, so asking about people inbound and then asking him about potential people outbound, and he just says the same thing. And then they all recycle this same thing. Somebody asked him today about like the height of the players in the club. Like, is that a fear for concern and stuff? Like, I mean, I sort of get that a bit, you know, just, I don't know, are we wanting like this massive Trojan, or do they all have to be the size of a Trojan horse, or, you know, this is Sparta or something. But anyway, so the questions, I don't know what questions I'd ask. So I don't go, well, what question would you ask? I don't know. I'd ask about the ins and I'd ask about the outs immediately. Get it out of the way, and then once somebody's asked it, I wouldn't ask it myself. It's like if the person before you asks, do they have to ask it so that they can write it down and they put it in their newspaper or wherever the Jeff it goes? I can't understand why they can't just go, well, we've had that answer, so here I have 10 more questions. They've got 20 minutes with Fucker, the Leeds United Football Club manager, who's been here for a year and a half, and we can't even muster up a better conversation than who's coming in and who's coming out. It's like, just ask him some stuff. If I had 20 minutes with him, I don't know what we'd really get to know each other, me and Danny Facky. We'd really get to the nitty gritty, you know, not just the ins and outs. It'd be the ups and downs and the overs and outs, and not the outs, the overs and the overs and the unders. I'd be all up in him. I'd be all up in his grill, be asking him where he gets his hair cut, if he gets his hair cut, if it's actually greasy, or whether he just waxes it back, whether he slicks it back with some product. You know, let's get to know the man behind the mask. That's what I'm saying. Well, I wasn't expecting to go on about that, but Dan James is out. DJ is out at the weekend, which I think is a crying shame. He's also going to miss the Wales games, so he will not be with the squad, not be travelling with the squad, which I don't give a monkeys about that, but it is a massive miss. Also interesting, I mean, people on Twitter don't seem to think that it is a big miss, but, you know, which is wild. But, I mean, I think it was Beckford that said last week that his finish was a little bit suspicious or something last week, which I did think the keeper went to ground pretty easily, but, you know, he still sold him a dipper, and he still dinked him, so I don't really know what that's about. But it'd be interesting to see who replaces him, because obviously we've got some new signings in that could potentially play on his side, like Solomon or Ramazzini. I don't know if Faka will want to bring them straight in, but ultimately, you know, it's either that or it's like Aronson and Geldart type of style, isn't it? So, you know, what we're going to do. Be interesting to see if Aronson, you know, we've obviously got Piroe. He might bring Piroe into 10 and put Aronson out onto Dan James's side, because I don't think he'll want to bring these players straight in. I know everybody's going to lose their mind over that, but I just don't. I hope he does, in a sense, you know, and he did allude to the fact that they'd played some games, both for the clubs, like, you know, I nearly called him Road on them, but that Solomon's obviously played pre-season and stuff, and that Ramazzini did play a competitive game. So, you know, they are ready to rock and roll, as you would rock and roll, you know, as you would say. But does Aronson keep his place regardless of that, even if he wanted to bring them both in? Aronson, for me, is better in that 10 role than Piroe, Parisley, which, you know, there's been some talk with this. I mean, this is actually feathered out into not being true even remotely, but we will discuss it, because if it comes up, it must come out. So that Gus Hammer, apparently we've not gone back in for him from Sheffield. Apparently there's no second offer, no counter offer been made. But there was some talk that we was going to offer him bit of money and Joe Parisley. That has been denied. But I know Parisley got a lot of shit last season, but it got me thinking, really, you know, in general, because I actually said at the start of the season on Joe's podcast that he might be one of the ones that could be culled. You know, we don't actually, before we got rid of the big guns, but I thought if we need to raise a bit of money, you could have got rid of like Kamara, Parisley, Piroe. You know, got rid of a few players that sort of didn't really. I mean, Kamara I thought were quite a big loss, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and now we're trying to replace Kamara, but it seems. But I'm going off on a tangent. I'm just saying we could have got rid of them players, but I think we might need him. It frustrates me, and I don't want him to play in that 10 role. But we don't know how Joseph's going to get on. You know, I love Bamford very, very dearly, but if he's injured again, it's really, really frustrating at this point. It's a long old season. We might need him up there. He did get 10, 11 goals, 12 goals, whatever he got last season. So there's goals in him. We might want to settle down. But yeah, I think Aronson should keep his place over Parisley. I like that, but if he don't bring one of them wingers in, I think it's back to Piroe in 10. I mean, Fucker did say in his interview that he's not worried about the number 10 role, but they will not be asleep, you know, before the market ends tomorrow night. But, you know, that's not really out to go by particularly. It is looking like this, Ayo, somebody bring me Tanaka, hey. It is looking like that is done, deal done. So people have been tracking flights and job lot. You know, it's mint on Twitter, innit? Whenever he's like, there's a flight coming in, private, whatever, landed. But apparently he's been in and around Leeds, Thorpe Arch and what have you. So, and the deal has been done in principle of just fine-tooth combing, going over the fine-tooth comb with it, going over it with a fine-tooth comb. So, yeah, as I said, he's Japanese, so he is. So that's the midfielder potentially. A lot of people saying that we wanted Gus Hammer over this. Ayo! And people referencing players that we've had before from them areas. I've got something in my cup of tea. But, you know, it's a signing, isn't it? Let's get behind it. And we're actually, you know, as much as we need some backup in there, if he turns out to be whack, we've still got, you know, Gruev and Ampadu and, you know, Rothwell, you know. So we're not unbelievably shy in there. It'd be a good little addition, wouldn't it? There was some talk of that Maupay, so who from I don't know where he's at now, to be fair, but he's been surplus to requirements. Is he at Brighton now, Maupay? I can't remember. He gets about a bit, doesn't he? Well, I've never disliked a player quite like him. No, that's not true, actually. He just really, I detest him, but I don't actually No, I don't know if I do detest him. I don't even care about him that much, so it doesn't annoy me that much. But there's something about him. But that would have been a funny sign. And he got a lot of shit on Twitter for wanting that in really. But I'd have gone down for that, wouldn't you? It'd have been that is it, and he's definitely Championship proven. You could argue Premier League proven really, but apparently he's off to it. Marseille as well. So Marseille took that row offers allegedly, didn't they? Oh, it's a nice drop that. Took row offers and then apparently they've come in for that Maupay, but whether or not that had any legs at all, we don't know, do we? But yes, off on Just Join at 8 o'clock. Join me there, yo. 13th of September, bro. Click the link below, yo. Yes, yo.
Boom.
JackCity, bitch. JackCity, bitch. Hey!
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.